Hey, it's Matt Pinfield and Fan Pass here with Johnny and Daniel from the band Nothing More. Guys, good to have you, man. Good to see you. I see you guys have already made yourself quite at home in here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of empty beers there. What else is there? Some Red Bull?
Some Gatorade, Red Bull, some Jamaican rum or some
looks like some rum there.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta have fun. Well, you know what? You played already, so you have the right to.
Exactly.
To have a good time when you're
It's our guitar player's birthday today.
Oh,
so,
is it?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So he's having a good time and celebrating, which is cool.
Yeah, we don't know where he is now.
Yeah.
You know, he's probably floating on top of a bunch of people's hands.
Yeah. But that's good, though.
To be
He's having
found
fun.
at the hospital later.
Yeah, tell me about that. The philosopher Alan Watts, you sample him all over the record. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, explain that to everybody who he is. I mean, to everybody.
Yeah, he's a philosopher from the 40s, 50s, 60s who basically was like a Western mouthpiece for Eastern philosophy.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, you know how it is, if you understand anything about linguistics and philosophy and stuff, it's hard to translate an idea from an area that you didn't grow up in, and you didn't know all the idioms and the things like that. So he basically made that type of philosophy very palatable and digestible for Westerners such as ourselves, and very enlightening stuff. If you've never listened to him, you should check him out.
That's cool. So you just found some of your favorite bits and put them in there.
Yeah,
cool.
Basically things that kind of made sense with the record and life experiences and stuff that we went through when we were writing those songs.
Yeah, that's very cool. Tell me about Christ Copyright. And there's this church, right? It's a Westboro Baptist Church. Tell me about the story behind that. Explain the song to me.
I guess the song's called Christ Copyright.
Yeah.
And we all actually grew up in the church. So he and I actually played in the youth band together growing up, which is pretty funny. And as time went on, I think like with anything, if you're around it long enough, you kind of see the dark side of it.
Yeah.
And there was definitely a dark side to organized religion, things like that, and politics as well. And Christ Copyright's really about just marketing religion, controlling people, things like that. And we saw that kind of from the inside a little bit. And I guess you brought up the Westboro Baptist Church. That's I mean, a lot of people probably know about that. They're the God hates fags. People that go to soldiers' funerals and hold up signs, shit like that. That's ridiculous. But
it's seriously ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just it's a delusion. It's like it's brainwashing, and there's different there's different levels of brainwashing. I think you meet people every day and think, oh, they're a normal person, but
you just don't know. You don't know what's there behind the eyes. You just do not know.
Yeah, and a lot of it's also about like anybody using fear. Fear is always like the main captive thing that keeps people centered in that ideology and really just kind of exposing that. So.
Just trying to just shine some light on it because it goes under the radar so easily. I think when
people forget about some of the horrible things that they were doing. Yeah. Showing up at people's funerals and all that. It's just invading people. Yeah,
it's just insane.
They said they were going to come like at that school shooting in Connecticut, which was so sad. I mean, they tore down the school now, but. They actually tore the school down. But they were threatening to come up there and protest there and hold up signs. I'm like, they did that?
Fuck with
those
that.
parents, somebody would have pulled out an AK-47.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Somebody's going to go eat shit on that.
Yeah, that's it, man. No one was ready. They thought twice. They changed their minds as they should have, right? So I get a kick out of Mr. MTV. Song because, sometimes you tell me about that too. Tell me about the song because it's funny. Believe me, you know me. I got to say
I know. I figured
you
you might think it's funny. Basically, the song, like many of our songs, it's kind of a meaning nestled within meanings, in that you can apply it to different interpretations. But generally, it's was kind of built out of our frustration with where music television is now, and it's basically just a bunch of reality TV bullshit that we want it to be what it was actually called, music television.
Like when I was on the air regularly.
Exactly,
you were part of the glory days.
The golden era,
exactly. It was fun.
It's not that anymore, that's for sure.
And not just MTV though, really just, we were a generation, or a part of a generation that was raised on television, so we look at tendencies that we have and things we want to do, and it's like, views towards women or anything, and it's like, oh wait, television taught me that, like that's not real.
Yeah, exactly.
That's bullshit.
Not like these reality shows are real either. I like to call them unreality shows.
It's so obvious that it's almost humorous.
It's all scripted, and they got to have the conflict. They're like, listen, and we're gonna they're looking for a narrative arc.
Yeah,
so they're creating one. There's nothing real about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys, it's crazy.
I'm just still hoping Survivor's real, though. You know, if they happen to go on a boat at the end of every night, you know, on the island infested with flesh-eating mosquitoes, it'd be heartbreaking for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm
we'll
sure.
see. Don't burst that bubble.
I will not burst that bubble. That one could be right. Biggest Loser is, but I mean, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's some reality.
Yeah, there's
That's
some,
great.
but you know. But anyway, but I prefer the dramas, man. I'd rather watch Sons of Anarchy or Dexter. You know what I mean?
Oh hell yeah, that's one of my favorite shows.
Dexter.
Dexter.
Yeah, it was great. I'm sad it's over.
Yeah.
I'm sad it ended. 8 seasons. I should have stayed on for at least 10. I'm like, come on, you can keep killing people on that kill table? Come on.
On that kill table?
You know, it's the greatest. He actually did a promo, Michael C. Hall, for my radio show once, and he actually said, I've got Matt Pinfield saran wrapped to the kill table, and I'm taking over the station Sunday night. And he did a takeover.
Oh, wow.
So I had him on in my morning show. So we had a blast.
That's awesome.
It was so funny because the people at the front desk, because it's 3 radio stations were there, and some of the people that worked, you know, like at the hip hop station, weren't familiar with who he was. So they're like, you hear him going, "Would you tell Matt Pinfield Michael C. Hall's here to see him?" And he's like just wandering around the halls looking for me. I'm like, I can't believe we were dying. Wow. It was cool. He was a sport though. He was just a great guy.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Took pictures with everybody. But guys, thanks for doing this. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Man, you know, it's good to have you on here. Nothing more. Well, one thing we need to do before we leave here is. Is turn this over.
It's like the laundromat. It's better advertising.
Yeah. It's upside down. People are like, what's going on there? Nothing more, everybody. Johnny and Daniel on Fan Pass.